Everyone, welcome in. This is Julie Max in the Main Stamper. I am here for Thursday at 3 and a fun fold card. I found another one that I really love and it's super simple. This one is going to be fantastic no matter what designer paper you use because you can use any colors and any themes. And it can be really simple too. These ones are going to go together so quickly. This is called the Modern Garden. I'm calling it the Modern Garden because we're using the Modern Garden stamp set and the Modern Oval Punch. This is the punch right here. So this white oval that you see is the punch that I'm using. I've been using it this week in my card class and it follows through into our fun folds on Thursday. So this has, like I said, a flap mechanism. So you can see right here that this is going to open up. There's nothing holding this down except for gravity and habit, because there's nothing there. Just it opens and it's fabulous, right? I love the fabulous fun fold cards. So this is the card that we're making now. I am going to, of course, switch it up a little bit. Hi Lori, hi Jackie. I'm going to switch it up a little bit because that's what I love to do. I like to get on here and get creative. Hi Carrie, it's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. So again, I love to change things up. And we're going to change things up. And then you guys can tell me in the comments which version you like better of the paper, which version you like better of the embellishments. And I'm not even sure what else we're going to do, but it's going to be awesome. So we're going to get over to my workspace here. Let me flip you over to my other view. And here we go. Now, make sure you're saying hi as you jump on because I always love to know who's watching. And again, this is going to be our card. I'm calling it the Modern Garden Fun Fold Flap card. Now the flap part again is this little flap right here. It's almost satisfying to have that little flap kind of come down. It feels like there's a magnet or something holding there, but it is not. It is fantastically fabulous, and there's not a lot of product that goes into this. Now, if you are on my email newsletter list, every Thursday I send out the Fun Fold PDF, and it's got lots of pictures to help you out too. It's got your card recipe, the supplies that I use, just in case you are wondering, and then the directions, step-by-step how-to. Now, of course, there's always this video. You can watch it anytime. I do put this over on YouTube, so hi YouTube fans, thanks for checking it out. So you need a card base, which I've already folded. This is just your regular card base. You need a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 white, and you need a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 designer paper. Look how pretty this is. Now this is the Modern Garden. This is actually called Garden. I think it's called Garden Walk. We've been playing with this paper in the craft room this week. And it's just so fabulous. This is a 6x6 pack, as you can see. We have all seasons in here, really. We have some that are fall. This was controversial. I'll have to show you that card. This one we used too in the class this week. So it's got really all of the seasons in it. We use the Modern Garden stamp set. And then this fantastic Modern Oval Punch. Now the punch does not coordinate with the stamp set. This punch coordinates with any stamp set. So as you can see here, we've created a label, right? We can use it for a sentiment, we can use it for stamping. So with the class on Monday, this was our very first card from class. You can see kind of the similarities here, right? They look a little bit similar. Now this card right here is a full opening. So it opens fully. There's no cuts on the side here. And there's extra things on here, right? So there's extra die cuts, there's extra paper. It's extra fancy, but if you want to go fun and fancy, this is so much simpler. So that was card number 1 in our class. This was the controversial card, Wild Wheat. Not everyone's favorite kind of card. Again, we've got this little label in here. This was my color swap card on Positive Paper Crafters on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I like to change it up. So we do the same design, and I change up a few elements. Besides the color, I did use another embossing folder here. This is a 2-piece embossing folder. So we've got the little swirly dots, and we've got the little swirly kind of squiggly stripes. And this was our last card from Monday's class. Again, great for your sentiments, so you can see how it's going to work beautifully no matter what you want. Now there's still a couple of days left to put in a $35 order using my host code to get 6 of these cards. You get 2 each of these designs with a $35 order, which is super easy to do, right? Now, I asked earlier if 2 embellishments looked okay because I was experimenting a little bit. I like to do that every now and again. I had a resounding absolutely not. Put 3 on that card. So we are going to doctor this one up real quick before we jump into our next card. So everyone felt like 3 was awesome. Now these are blooming pearls and they're beautiful and shiny and sparkly. It may not pick up in the camera as well. Brand new in the catalog that just released this week. This is a free gift with a $50 order plus the card kits in my class. So this is really awesome. We're going to pick up another gold one and we're just going to put it, hopefully centering it. I can't really see right there. I'm making a little line of 3. Okay, now we have, and now there's 3, right? I hope everyone feels a little bit better. It does look better. I totally agree with you. Someone suggested I should put the pearl or a little pearl in the middle of the flower, which is really cute, but I did color it in, so I didn't want to hide it. So there we go. We fixed the card, right? Now we're going to use this as our basis to do our next card. And again, this is so simple and easy. You could probably pull out some paper right now, follow along with me, and create one of these too. So we're going to take our card base, we're going to open it up. Now this is the front of my card. I've determined that. It really doesn't matter which is your front because they're obviously the same, right? But you're going to open it up so that you take 1 inch off of the front right here. So I'm going to line this up. I think you can see that 1 inch right here. So now the front has 1 inch missing where we're going to open it. So it's 1 inch short. Now this is our flap, so don't throw that away. We're going to use that. Now we're going to bring in our designer series paper. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut this. So I'm saying cut it at the 4 inch width. We're cutting 1 inch off the long length, right? So here we have our 2 pieces of paper. So on this card, we have this piece right here. And then when we open it up and flip this over, we have this piece right here. Okay, so that's where those all come from. And while we have the scoring tool out, I'm just going to score this real quickly. I want 3.5. Now, when you score, make sure you always score with your scoring blade and don't cut. The dark blade on this trimmer happens to be the cutting blade. So I'm just scoring it just like this. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I came up with that measurement as I put my card together. You may want to do yours a little bit differently. Not really sure. So it depends on the decorative element on the front of your card, how big it is and how far over it goes depends on how far you want your score line. So first the first change we're going to make, because we're going to make changes today, we're going to change up the designer series paper orientation. So the bigger piece of designer series paper is going on the front of our card, and I am putting the stripies on. And I know I have fans out there that love stripes. You raise your hand if you are a fan of the stripes. I want to know who loves stripes as much as me. And my mom. My mom also loves stripes. So here we go. We've got our first change. I've gone from floral to stripes, and it's fabulous that this paper, Stampin' Up's papers usually coordinate so beautifully front and back that you can do techniques like this. You can do the rip and flips like this. I got to remember to put the right glue on the right side because I'm talking here and I might forget what I'm doing. So I'm just going to adhere this 1 inch strip right down onto the edge of my white cardstock. So again, we didn't cut the white cardstock at all, but now it looks smaller because we've added designer series paper right there. Now before we put this down, we're going to put in our little flappy mechanism. So we don't want to put that down just yet. And we're going to put the glue down on the part that's going to hit the inside of the base. So this is the inside of the card. I'm going to line up my score line right here, either flush with the edge or just slightly to the inside of it, because when I close it, it's going to come across like this, and it's going to be my flap mechanism. So I'm going to put some glue right here on this little piece, so obviously the littler piece, and deciding how like up down you want it to go. Again, it's going to depend on the element that you're using as the decorative piece for the front of your card. Now I'm using the modern oval punch. You could use circles and not just punches, you can use dies too, right? You can use all kinds of things. So I've just glued this piece down right here, and now I'm going to glue this piece down over top. So this is going to help secure the flap also, and also to hide it a little bit too. Now what you want to do is you want to center this inside right along the inside piece of your card base. You don't need to send it all the way to the side. It's okay if a little bit of this flap looks extended. Totally fine. I do like it centered though. So here it is in the closed position, so you can kind of see where we're going with this already, right? Now it's a little extra boingy. You can see it's not even like laying flat yet. This will in time be just as flat as this. Plus this is going to help to hold this down. So let's bring in our modern oval punch. So I already punched the 2 pieces, so you just need scraps here. Now again, you could use circles, squares, you could use a star, whatever element you want to put on the front of this to be your flap piece is fantastic. I have one to stamp on, and then I chose the coordinating color of my flap because I like the cohesive look of how pretty it is when it's opened up and it's all the same color. So we're going to go ahead and stamp on this real quick. And again, we're using the Modern Garden stamp set. So I just have a few stamps here. This is, again, super simple, sweet, and adorable. Nothing fancy, but it is fun. So I'm going to do It's Your Birthday in the Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to put it on here so that I have enough room to get a little flower element on here too. I'm going to leave the peacock out. I had a suggestion from Michelle that maybe some sponging was in order. So we're going to sponge this up a little bit too. We're going to change it up a little bit. I love to flip things a little bit, just a little bit. Try them out. So I've got Old Olive here, and I've got my little leaf stamp, the leaf and stem. So it's really sweet, like it's your birthday, right? And then I just have one of the flowers. Now there's so many flowers to choose from. I'm using the size that works for my punched piece. If I had a ginormous circle, I could probably get one of these bigger flowers on there and it would look fabulous. But this is just a small kind of punch. So I felt like this was just about all we needed. Now this is Calypso Coral. I'm picking up colors that are already in the designer series paper. So I've got that, and this is kind of funny. This is probably well played here, but not on purpose. I didn't do this on purpose, but I did smudge my flower, and I smudged my flower so much that the center of it is no longer white. Now the center of this is supposed to be white, and I used on my original card, just, I think I used, is this the dark or the light? This is the light Daffodil Delight. I colored the center in because I didn't want it to be white. This time, my center has kind of a little orange dot in the middle, and that's because my stamp must have jumped a little bit while I was doing that. I'm going to color over it just the same, just to see there's like kind of a little bit of a yellow halo there. And I may or may not leave that, but I kind of do like it. It's cute. Now, back to ink, and I just put them all away. Pretty Peacock. Michelle suggested maybe some sponging was in order, and I cannot argue that because I love so much. You see me do this all the time, right? I love the sponging. So we're just going to bring the dauber in. I'm not going to go too deep into the actual oval here because I do want everything to be pretty, right? Kind of focused toward the middle. So there we go. I have just sponged that. We're going to see if we like it as we put this card together. You can let me know as we go if you like the sponged version, the non-sponged version. Now we need to get our little element here onto the flap. So this is where you want to make sure when you've measured the length of your flap that it works for your element piece here, right? So I did measure this, and you could obviously trim it if you needed to. If that was too long, you could trim it down some. So when I scored it, I measured it knowing that this is going to fit over here, be centered on my card, and not show farther out. That all makes sense as I explain. So I'm just going to add some adhesive right here on the flap, and I'm going to glue down my sweet little It's Your Birthday. And this is just going to go in here. Now the stripes are interesting. This is the first time, obviously, I'm changing it up, right? The stripes are giving me kind of little lines to use as I'm putting my piece down, so that's really nice. Now this is what it looks like on the back if you don't cover it over. I don't think it looks quite as finished as this version, right? So I like to punch another piece. You can be die cutting them or whatever you want. And if you put a white piece on here instead of the same color, you could just cover this up. The whole thing would be white, and you could actually stamp on both sides of the flap. So there's a thought too. But I'm just going to line this up. And now the flap looks so much nicer, right? It's your birthday. And it's starting to get a little bit of, it's starting to be held down a little bit better. Now, obviously, the more it's put into an envelope and squished with things on top of another, it'll flatten even more. The last thing we're going to play with is the embellishments. We're going to switch this up too. Looking for my little tool here. So someone suggested, I think Melissa had suggested today, that we try these Pretty Peacock color embellishments and maybe some different sizes too. So we're going to change it up a little bit, and we're going to do it. We're going to put, I'm thinking like one here. I'm changing it completely. I'm not going to do a straight line even. I'm going to do the traditional 3, the little triangle of 3. And I am not going to cover up. I know, maybe I will. I say this is me, this is like almost design process. Yeah, I do like that better. Okay, good. I shifted that over a little bit. So I did take into consideration, someone suggested to put the bloom, the little pearl here in the middle of the flower, and definitely to add 3. This one has a triangle, whereas this original card, I have them all straight in a line. But here are the 2 cards side by side, so you have so many options. I want to know if you like the stripies or the flowers better, and we're saying that for the front of the card. So stripies or flowers for the front, and I would like to know if you prefer the embellishments kind of in this triangle formation with the flower or the straight across. These are the gold, very classic. So how fun and fabulous is this card, right? I mean, really pretty simple too to create. So awesome. All right, I'm gonna pop back over here and just check to see you're voting. Hi Deb, hi Rhonda and Jess. Sandra likes the flowers. Ooh, I like the flowers too. They're really pretty. Although I do like a good stripe, and Pretty Peacock is really pretty. I am loving Pretty Peacock recently. Jess also likes the flowers, but sponging sentiment. I forgot. I had that option too. I did. I changed the sponging on the sentiment. So Carrie says both are lovely. 3 in a row is best. Lori likes the flowers in a line. So see, everyone has their preferences. And you know what the most beautiful thing about the changing up is that you as card makers have the same superpowers in your own craft room. You see anything online, any project, see anybody do a card, and you're going to sit at home with your supplies and you're going to make it your way. And that's fantastic. I love that you can see different options, but then you decide how you want to make your card. So thank you so much. I think you guys are really loving the flowers. That is so awesome. Thank you. I love all your comments. I appreciate them. If you have any questions on this card, please let me know. I will certainly answer them. This was a really easy fun fold, so I hope you guys try it out. You can change up your colors. You can change up your designer paper. You can change up the little decorative element on the flap. I mean, there's so much you can do with this, and it is really simple. There's not a lot of paper that goes into this. There's not a lot of cutting. So this is really sweet and simple. I hope you enjoyed this card class. Now remember, if you're not on my email newsletter list and you would like to jump on it, you'll get several emails from me from throughout the week with different things that I have going on. But Thursday's the one you want to open because Thursday has the free card recipe in it. So that's it from me. I appreciate your time today. I hope you all stay cool and crafty. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, share the love, everybody. Bye.